Hello and welcome to tonight's Lol Esports Round Up. We're going to cover a lot of news. This news pretty much is everything since October 13th. The last time I did a video like this, we covered Fnatic and Mad Lions, and we've had a few teams do things that we should talk about. Keep in mind when I do go over stuff like this, because free agency is about to start, the Twitter Pokemon, I understand they have a website and things like that now. I only go off of what the contract database will show, as well as Leaguepedia. I do not follow rumors. Verbal agreements, time and time again, can be used as toilet paper. So, in my opinion, I'm not going to go over verbal agreements or rumors on here. So, news. Immortals has gotten rid of Mabry. Mabry was their head coach. They have allowed a few players to leave since the end of the split anyways. I think only Tactical and Treats technically are still on the roster. Mabry went 9-27 with Immortals and is 66-87 over his career as a coach, in major regions at the highest level, based on what Leaguepedia gives me. The closest person they have on their staff to a head coach that's left is Parth. Parth, obviously a longtime coach with TSM, going 77-31 in his time running that team. One of the better North American coaches of all time, I would say. At least one of the best coaches of a North American team. Now, is he probably going to be the coach? Probably not. I don't know. It's not my, I have no idea. But that's who the next in line to me is based on the he's a consultant based on the Leaguepedia. Also, we have Astralis and Carmine Corp. So Astralis is no more. They went 35-64 in the LEC. This past year, probably their most successful year. We saw them go 6-3 in the best of ones and go on a little run there in the best of threes. Unfortunately, that is the best Astralis did. An org that definitely left a lot to be desired. Kind of came in and just didn't spend much at all. Now, Carmine Corp is the exact opposite. They have a massive fan base. One of the most popular esports teams in Europe. We're able to actually build an arena because their teams are so popular in France. 69-39 in the LFL regular season. This doesn't include playoffs, regionals, EU Masters, all that shit. I understand that they've had some good runs. This past year left a little bit to be desired, if memory serves me and what I've seen. I really don't follow ERLs or Academy all that much, especially the teams that are not associated with major region teams. So frankly, I didn't watch any Carmine Corp, and I really don't plan on watching anything until they play in the LEC. Something that is of note though to me is that Carmine Corp built an arena, and at least for my very ignorant understanding, their most popular team was their LFL team. Now their LFL team becomes the Academy team, and their main roster is going to be in the LEC, playing in Berlin unless that changes. So it is something to note that they built an arena and their main team probably won't be playing in it unless the LEC changes format, and maybe that is coming. I don't know. Based on the Carmine Corp roster, they did use a lot of former LEC players on it. Kalist obviously being somebody that is not an LEC player because he's like 16 years old or something and can't actually play with them next year due to, I believe there are rumors that they may acquire a sponsor that will require everybody to be over 18 to play in the LEC. Just rumors I've read. With that in mind, then that kid can't play because he's a kid. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll see how they do. A lot of new faces will be fans of the LEC. I know that fan base is a bit, I guess they will rival T1, if you catch my drift. Now, so other player moves. All these players have been given the boot. Dignitas have let go of everybody now except Rich and Jensen. So Tomo had a 3 KDA, 9.6 CS per minute, 71 KP in summer. 440 gold per minute. That was about 24.7% of the team gold, so carry. 622 damage per minute, 27.6% of the damage. On average, behind in lane, over 400 gold, 6 CS, and 285 XP. Played 8 champions in 27 games. You could argue that his numbers are hurt because of the next 2 players on the list. 2 different supports all year, going back and forth. And in my opinion, I thought Tomo looked actually pretty good at times. Earlier on in his career, I think he played with FlyQuest, if memory serves me correctly, and I thought that he deserved another opportunity, and he finally got it, and honestly, I thought he was solid. Now, Diamond had a 2 KDA, 68 2 KP, 297 vision score per minute, would place about 8 wards every 5 minutes, 2 control wards every 5 minutes, and clear 1 ward every 3 minutes, 8 champions in 12 games. They also had Poom, who had a 1.8 KDA, 68 6 KP, so very similar stats to Diamond. Slightly higher vision score, 3.13 vision score per minute, but would also place 8 to 9 wards every 5 minutes, so did place more wards, a control ward every other minute, and still cleared only 1 ward every 3 minutes. So actually he cleared less wards than Diamond did, despite dropping more wards. Vision score went up, but I guess you could say he was placing his wards in places that the other team didn't place wards, or at least his vision wards were placed in places where. Okay. 6 champions, 15 games, so the champion pool not as wide as Diamond's. Enetron was their coach. He is no longer the coach. He went 21-51 with Dignitas. That is his only coaching experience in a major region at the highest level. Sven Skaren was the assistant, going from player to coach, and he was only the assistant in summer, going 7-11. So we'll see if Sven Skaren ends up being the head coach going forward. Koi have allowed Malring to walk. They also allowed Koldo to walk, so we don't have a backup to go over. Malring, obviously a player that took the LEC by storm with his style, his very selfless facilitator style, like relentlessly facilitator, and that did catch up with him in the end. 2.2 KDA, 4.8 CS per minute, 66.8 KP. So if you're not farming and you're getting only 2 out of every 3 kills, not around 70% up to 75%, especially given the meta, that's not good, right? You're not involved. Your team's fighting away from you. And if that's the case, you should be busy doing something else, and it wasn't getting CS. 303 gold per minute. That was about 17.5% of the team's gold. 284 damage per minute was 14% of damage. And at 15 minutes, he was getting diffied. Down 260 gold, 14 CS, and 500 XP. 8 champions, 13 games. So literally down 4 camps. 4 to 5 camps per game at 15 minutes. So he was getting gapped and wasn't finding plays to offset it. Team Heretics, Mursa has been allowed to walk, and Marlin, I believe, also, so we don't have another support to talk about. Mursa did okay at times with Heretics. I don't think he was the problem, given that they went from Jack Spectre to Flacked. I really don't identify Mursa as the issue with Heretics. I think a lot of people would agree. It was the top lane that was the problem. 4.8 KDA, 75 4 KP. These numbers are good. We just talked about Diamond and Poom. Their numbers were pretty piss poor compared to Mursa's. 2.84 vision score per minute, placed about 8 wards every 5 minutes, 2 control wards every 5 minutes, but would clear only 1 ward every 5 minutes. So the vision was not effectively clearing opposition vision, so that is something to note for sure. 7 champions in 20 games. Lastly, we have Vitality. Vitality Perks has been allowed to leave in 9 games in summer because they sucked. 2.4 KDA, 8.7 CS per minute, 72.4 KP. So we do see Perks as more of a carry-oriented player, but in this case with the meta, a little facilitator action. 381 gold per minute. That was under 22% of the team's gold. 583 damage per minute. That was almost 29% of damage. So you could argue he was the main carry for the team when it came to damage. Going back and forth with upset. On average at 15 minutes, down 375 gold, 2 CS, and 410 XP. Only 1 solo kill, 7 champions played, right? Yeah, 7 champions played. So not getting solo kills. His laning was average at best and behind at worst. So, I mean, Vitality were a tire fire. It was no surprise. A couple of these games were with a very young star jungler, in my opinion, in Douglas. Obviously, Bo was and is a young star jungler also, but Douglas a lot younger than Bo, so we'll take those numbers for what they are. Shawcheck, he is currently at least listed on Leaguepedia as the mid for Vitality B. 4-4 KDA, 8-8 CS per minute, 76-9 KP, did very well in the LFL. 4-14 gold per minute, it's about 23% of the team's gold, so definitely secondary carry on his team. 599 damage per minute, which is about 27.7% of the team's damage, so second tier carry in damage. On average, his laning was average at best or behind at worst in the LFL. That is a concern. Down 20 gold is like nothing, 3 CS, and 105 XP, 4 solo kills, 12 champions, 26 games. You could say, oh, but that's not that much, you know. I mean, frankly, he's going pretty much even. 3 CS, I mean, it's 100 gold. What does that really matter? And you could say, okay, yes, it really doesn't matter in the LFL, but now you're going to up your game to the LEC, right? So you got to take the next step. How do you compare at the next step? Can you, all of a sudden, these numbers get better? You know, maybe. I mean, 76-9 KP, maybe he's playing very facilitator-oriented, selfless, leaving lane, and things like that. Like I said when I talked about KC, I do not watch Academy, so, or ERLs or LDL or CK or whatever, so it is something to note that, you know, it is possible he's just a facilitator, but yeah, so that's it for today's roundup. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and I hope to see you again tomorrow.